Hi there, this is Craig reporting from day 3 of DevLearn. I'm actually reporting from Las Vegas McCarran Airport, the Starbucks in there in fact, so apologies for any background music. So what have I taken away from day 3 then? Well, the first session of the day was actually my session, so it'd be very easy for me to gloss over that and say, hey, do you know what, it was my session, I knew the content, and therefore I didn't take anything away from it. Well, actually, if you push the content to one side, it was a really good, timely reminder, as if I needed it, that people are at different stages of their understanding of learning technologies and mobile learning and mobile performance support. So whilst I was delivering stuff that I might have been doing for some time, and you, dear watcher and listener, might have been doing for some time, to many people in that audience it was new, or to many people in that audience there were just little nuggets and little gems of information that they latched upon and were able to take away. I had a really, really good session. I had about 60 to 80 people there. The feedback was very good. Some people said it was the best session they'd been to. Other people said that that and the keynote had really made it for them. So as somebody that had flown, you know, a fair distance around the world to deliver that, it really gave me a good return on my investment of time, that people didn't just think that the session was good, but that they actually had some takeaways to go away and implement back into their workplace, which is obviously the important thing. The second session that I attended today was Jane Badarth's session on measuring the return on investment of social learning, which you might think sounds a very strange thing to do, but Jane gave us a very, very good model, a very good measurement model on how to actually measure, or how to attempt to measure the return on investment. And quite unsurprisingly, it didn't centre around numbers or statistics or figures or cold hard cash returns. What it centred around was statements about whether or not the individual feels better and able to do their job, whether they're more likely to collaborate in the future, and whether they're more likely to problem solve themselves in the future, whether or not it adds value to the business and actually adds to the stature of the organisation that they're involved in. And it was a matrix of things really, from some simple, very, very low end type activities and very, very low wins to very, very high wins at the other end of the spectrum. So it was a really, really good model, and it's certainly a model that I'm going to look into in a bit more detail, and I certainly see myself blogging about it as well in the very near future. So thank you for that, Jay. The final session of the day, because it's only a half-day session on the final day of DevLearn, was a keynote, and it was a keynote that was from a lady who was involved in the rock industry in America, in fact the rock industry around the world, and she was telling some stories and some anecdotes about situations that she'd been in and how they tied with what we were doing within the learning industry. There was one takeaway from that that really struck out to me, and she did a very, very good exercise, a very audience-based exercise, and the simple takeaway from me was ask. Keep asking. Ask people. If you ask people for things, by and large, people will give you the answers. People will help you out. People will provide you with the resources that you need. You just need to ask. Now, bringing that back to what you and I are probably interested in is, do we honestly, and I mean honestly, do we let our learners ask at the right time? Do we give them tools and media to be able to ask the questions in a timely manner? Do we provide resources and answers in a timely manner? They might be asking the questions, but do we provide the answers in a timely manner? So that you really got me thinking about the fact that, you know, perhaps if we just allow people to ask questions in a fast, rapid, agile, in-the-moment way, and provided those answers as quickly as possible, we might well be being able to take away a lot of the formal training and formal courses that we deliver if we just allowed people to ask more often. So my 3 takeaways: everyone's at a different starting point. You and I are at different starting points. The DevLearn attendees certainly were today. Measuring return on investment doesn't have to boil down to figures and numbers and statistics and cold hard cash. And finally, are we really asking our learners, are we really allowing our learners to ask the questions at the right time, and are we providing the answers at the right time? It's been a fantastic conference. Needless to say, there will be some blog posts to follow, but if you've been watching these video reviews, thank you ever so much for doing so. Why don't you leave your thoughts and your comments against some of the videos that I've made in the comments box. Look forward to hearing what you've got to say.